Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 53 of Isolate, Meditate, Create. My name is Jessica Lynn Johnson, and I am the founder and CEO of Soaring Solo. And Soaring Solo is a company dedicated to the direction and development of one-person plays. So welcome. I'm so grateful to have all of you in this experience. Isolate, Meditate, Create is meant to bring us together each day with our creativity and with one another during quarantine. I am going to be making a slight adjustment since today was the day when stay at home was supposed to have ended, but it is not ending. It's continuing on, and it's still very important to me to maintain a consistent safe space for all of us, but I'm going to make it weekdays only. So Saturday and Sunday, I will be taking off from this experience unless I have my free class, in which that will still be happening on Saturdays. But yeah, so it's going to be a weekday only gathering for right now, so that I can make sure I keep my cup full for you guys so that I can show up and be my best self to provide these different offerings during that time. So I'll make a post about that on social media and everything as well. But for those of you who are here, I wanted to make sure that that was clear. So in other words, this coming weekend, I won't have Isolate, Meditate, Create, but I will still have my free class and the webinar and the open mic tonight and all the other things. So we still have a lot going on this weekend. Okay, so please make sure that you have something nearby you to write with and write on. We are going to jump into meditating, and then right after that, we're going to jump into writing. So please find a comfortable seated position. And as always, please know that if you have your camera on, we can see you. So just be cognizant of that. Sometimes I think people forget. Okay, so please go ahead and just close your eyes. Get comfortable. Let's just start to slow everything down. And breathe deeply. And on your exhale, just releasing whatever it is that you need to release. Just allowing your mind to slowly declutter, to slowly clear out. Noticing any thoughts or racing thoughts, whatever they are, just notice them, but let them pass through. Try not to attach to any of them. Really allow yourself to create a blank canvas from which to create today. Setting aside our to-do lists and personal dramas and just being here now in this present moment with one another, investing in our self-care and in our community. And take a moment to do a body scan from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And please notice where you might be carrying any tension or discomfort, where there might be pain or clenching of muscles. And just breathe deeply into those places. And further relax and release. And just imagine that on every in-breath, you are filling your cup. You are nourishing your soul and your body, your mind, your spirit. You're breathing in those things that you most need right now. A sense of connection, love, creativity, support, kindness, patience, abundance, generosity, reassurance, optimism, hope, faith. Whatever things you need to breathe in. A good sense of humor, passion, curiosity. Breathe those things in. Breathing as deep as you can to nourish every inch of your body. And on every out breath, just imagine that you are releasing anything that does not serve you in this moment. Control, bitterness, lack of gratitude, anger, resentment, whatever it is, fear, paranoia, scarcity, jealousy. Let those things go on your out breath. Release them, pushing them far outside of your sphere, far away from you. And continuing to breathe in those things that serve you and to exhale those things that do not. And imagining that your breath is starting to transform, and that on your out breath, you are now able to return to the world, whatever it is you have to give, whatever it is you have to offer, however large or small. Just imagining on your out breath, returning to the world your own sense of generosity, your own humor, your support, your kindness, your patience, your abundance, your faith, your hope, your ideas, your creativity, your artistry, your love, whatever you can afford to give. Imagine returning that to the world on your out breath. And continuing this cycle of giving and receiving. And in this next moment, I'm going to guide you through a visualization. I just ask that you trust whatever comes up for you. Go on this journey in a very uncensored and free way. Try not to make sense of it or control it. Try not to worry about if it's going to go in your solo show or who would be hurt by these thoughts or feelings. Just go on the journey knowing you never have to share anything that comes up for you unless you choose to. And with your eyes closed and your body relaxed and your breath deep, we're going to step into this visualization together. I want you to call to mind a meaningful moment with an animal. A meaningful moment with an animal. So for those of you who are pet lovers, this might be a pet memory. For somebody else, this might be a hunting memory. Or being, lost in the woods and confronted by a scary animal, or whatever it is. There's lots of different ways to have a meaningful or impactful moment with an animal. This could be negative or positive. But just let that memory surface for you. And just recall as many of the details as you can. How old were you? What year was it? What season of the year was it? you don't remember exactly, get as approximate as you can. Was there anyone else there? Were you by yourself with this animal? What kind of animal was it? What did it look like? How large was it? And what transpired in that moment? What made it impactful or meaningful in either a negative or a positive way? What transpired in that moment? Just recall as many of the details as you can. And just recall how you felt at that time. How do you remember feeling? And if you can't access that, then how do you feel now reflecting upon this memory? Did it bring up fear or pain, joy, curiosity, compassion? What feelings came up for you in this moment with this animal? And what did you learn from this moment? Was anything changed in you? Did you have any insights? Did anything shift inside of you, large or small? Were there any lessons available to you or changes made in you from this moment, from this memory? Just be in this reflection for another moment, seeing if there's anything else available to you to receive from it. Any ideas or insights, feelings. Just reflect for another moment. Taking another deep breath in. And on our exhale, just releasing all of that and slowly coming back to this moment. Opening our eyes. And go ahead and reach for whatever it is that you have to write with and write on. I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes, and I'd like you to write about whatever came up for you with this memory, with this animal. If you need some ideas, you could write from the perspective of the animal. You could personify the animal and give it a monologue to tell this story from its perspective. You could write a scene between the two of you, or if there were multiple animals, you could play with personification in that way. You could write a first-person narration or a monologue. You could write lyrics to a song or a piece of poetry. In essence, there is no way to mess this up. You can do it however feels right to you. Just be uncensored and give yourself the gift of a first draft. Let it be whatever it's going to be. I'll let you know when your 8 minutes is up, and if you have any questions for me, please put them in the chat. Thank you. A little over 4 minutes left. A little over 4 minutes. Just under a minute left. Okay, please wrap up your writing. And as always, I recommend transcribing. Excuse me. I recommend transcribing your writing if it's on scrap paper or in a journal or something, just so you have a safe place for it. And especially if you're creating a solo show out of this material, or that might be a goal of yours, then I definitely recommend putting it in a document so you can start to see how many pages you've accumulated. And again, since we've been doing this for over 50 days now, sitting down and really reading through all of it and looking for themes and main characters and dramatic question and just figuring out maybe what the story is that you want to tell. If you sit down in one sitting and just kind of read through all of it and make notes, I think it'll be very informative. And again, always find someone who feels safe and supportive to share some part of what you've written with, so you are in the practice of being witnessed in your creativity, which is such an important part of the journey of a solo artist, getting comfortable in that vulnerability and standing in the truth of our stories. So I encourage you to do that as well. If you missed any of the last 53 days, please visit my YouTube channel, Jessica Lynn Johnson, Soaring Solo Artist, LLC, on YouTube. All of my videos are there, plus a bunch of bonus videos. So it's got a lot of tips and tricks for being a solo artist. And again, please share this experience with anyone you think might benefit from it. And as I said at the beginning of this call, I will now only be doing this experience during the week. So I'm no longer going to be doing this during the weekend, just to keep my own cup full, so I have plenty to offer you guys. So this will be a weekday occurrence, in addition to my free class, which I will still continue to do occasionally on Saturdays. But yeah, so I have a variety of announcements that I put in the chat. So if you want to be jotting those down, I'm just going to kind of go through them. To begin with is tonight is the Soaring Solo Snacks open mic. That's an open mic that I created solely for solo artists, because I feel like we need a space to play in a genre that we understand is quite unique and not the same thing as storytelling, and definitely not the same thing as stand-up. Although it has those attributes, it is its own beautiful beast. So we're going to have an open mic just for us tonight. That's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It should run until about 8:30. And I have a handful of curated special guest solo artists who will pop up throughout the evening. But there will also be plenty of open spots for any of you who would like to share something that you've written. You do not need to be memorized. It doesn't even need to be performance ready. It's just an opportunity for us to share what we've been writing. And certainly, I'm sure you have material from this experience to share. I will open the doors for that, the virtual doors, at 5:50, and you can start raising your virtual hands at that time, and I will just go in the order of hands held up. So in the confirmation email, I even sent you a little video to learn how to do that, so I don't get a bunch of questions about how to raise a virtual hand. There's all kinds of YouTube videos about how to do that if you don't know. So email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com to RSVP for that and get your Zoom link, and the donation for that is $5. Part of the proceeds are going to go to the Whitefire Theater. Next, my 100% free class is happening tomorrow morning, as well as May 30th from 10 to 11:30 Pacific time, also happening on Zoom. The only thing that's required for that is an RSVP through my website. So go to jessicalynjohnson.com, go under free stuff, and you can sign up there. Don't have to have any experience and don't have to have anything prepared. I'll always give you a writing prompt in my class so you can walk away with some new material. So that is happening tomorrow as well. And then right after that, or shortly thereafter, from noon to 2, Heather Dowling and I are going to be co-hosting the 6th installment. And I will unmute Heather for
Oh,
we can tell you about this together.
hi.
Hi.
I wasn't expecting that. Oh yeah, guys, I'm so excited. I've been really trying to do the most simplified version of notes for crowdfunding that I can. So, obviously I'm really excited to talk about Fertile. It's such a distinct delivery of solo with, a fourth wall and no narrator and, much more the like theater style for solo. So I'm excited to talk about that in the world of technicals, but I'm also happy to give you a chunk at least of what I learned about crowdfunding when we raised the 30 grand for our series. So yeah, it's a lot. Justin and I have been working really hard on that.
Yeah, and we're also, so we're looking at crowdfunding, we're looking at handling controversy, we're looking at character creation, and these are all things that both Heather and I have quite a bit of experience with and really want to aid you in. And so, yeah, we're going to be taking a deep dive into solo theater technique and looking at the character creation and how do you create characters, where do they come from, what's the technique involved for solo theater with that, and then again controversy, because for those of you who have seen Fertile and those of you who haven't, we talk about infertility, or Heather, you can talk about the
Well,
controversy.
yeah, it's just the whole expectation of procreation and what that looks like now in starting families. It isn't leave it to Beaver, that's for sure. And there's a whole world of that people are having to confront that doesn't isn't easy for people to talk about. So it had a lot of hot buttons and a lot of controversial areas that it traffics into. And you really can do that, and you can do it in a beautiful way that contributes, and also you say what you want to say. There's a way to have both. And that's what Jess really coached me through in creating the show, and I learned a lot. So especially if you have something that you don't know quite how to dive into it, I think it'll be really useful for people. And if I saw, Rebecca, like I saw that you can't make it live. For those of you who can't make it live, just know that if you make a contribution to that and RSVP with Jessica, you can get it on replay too, because she's going to keep it in a catalog and you can get the replay. And if you do that, you'll still have access to the link to my show too, so that
Yeah.
you can go back and break it down and learn from it.
Yeah, it's a huge steal, you guys. It's like $30 and you get to watch Heather's show. You get a multiple page curriculum guide that really breaks down everything we're going to talk about. And yeah.
And just the crowdfunding stuff, honestly, is worth that.
Yeah, that alone. Thank you.
And pay
Oh,
what,
yes. What did you say?
and pay what you can.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Absolutely. Yes. And then the last thing I'll say is, if any of you want to work with me as a coach, or schedule an initial consultation, or try out a small group or a power pair session, or you're just curious about any of that, just email me and we can go over my different rates, availability, and offerings if that's of interest to you. Other than that, I will see you then on Monday as far as this is concerned, because like I said, I'm not going to be doing this experience on the weekends anymore, but I'll see you on Monday for Isolate, Meditate, Create. And hopefully I'll see you tonight at snacks, and tomorrow for my free class, and tomorrow for the webinar. We've got a lot going on this weekend as far as solo theater is concerned. So have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And I will leave the chat going for a little while, just in case you want to jot down some notes. All right, thanks.